Yes, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Stephen Howson, tactical preview, Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. Can we get back on the run in the league, try and pick up some points and try and continue our quest to finish right inside the top four, not just sneaking in, but like a nice strong finish to see what could happen in the summer and potentially in the years to come. So let's have a look at how it's going then. United have just won one of the last 5 Premier League games against Crystal Palace. We've lost twice, we've drawn twice, winless in the last 2. We've not gone 3 top flight games without a win against Palace since 1970. So let's fix up, and sort that one out. Palace have taken 7 points from the last 4 away league games against United. Just 1 point fewer than they managed from their first 21 visits to Old Trafford, during which they lost 17 of those games. United have won their last 5 Premier League home games, last having a longer run at that at Old Trafford between May and December 2017, when we had a pretty good run at that one as well. Palace have just won 1 of their last 7 Premier League games. They got 2 draws and 4 defeats in that, and that one win came at Bournemouth on New Year's Eve. United have dropped points, having led in our last 2 Premier League games, notably against this lot, and we haven't done so in any of our previous 32 matches. How do they play? Well, you should really remember from it being not that long ago at all that we went and played against them. But Patrick Vieira is a bit of a stickler for energy, aggression from his team. They press right into the final third during the first sequence of opponent's possession, i.e. from a goal kick, before hunting the ball down with urgency as soon as it enters the middle third of the pitch. Their main formation is a 4-3-3, and that alters to a 4-5-1 out of possession. In some cases, when defending, it looks a bit more like a 4-2-3-1 with a pair of 6s. You'll see Eze drop alongside Doucouré when out of possession, and they rely less on counter-attacking opportunities than they did in seasons gone by. Vieira does look to build up from the back when attacking, but they're also capable of hurting you on the transition because they've got wingers and forwards that just scream pace. And playing from the back begins with the centre-halves. They'll quite often launch big diags to the wide attacking players. Joachim Andersen being very adept at doing that. Really good passer. Loves to hit the wingers early, although he's possibly unavailable after coming off injured in the last game. Ultimately, though, Palace do like to progress the ball through the fullbacks as a normal sort of run of play. Mitchell and Klein or Ward, they do try and play through them and move it through the thirds in that kind of sense. The interplay between the central midfielders and the fullbacks mean the fullbacks can advance a lot higher up the pitch, knowing that they have that defensive cover, a little bit of security in behind them, but that means overloads are created on the wing, which allows crosses to players such as Mateta or Edouard to get onto for the wingers such as Zaha or Ayew to make themselves a nuisance in the penalty area. However, Zaha is out injured and has possibly got a hamstring injury. Predicted 11 for Crystal Palace will potentially be Gaeta, Klein, Richards, Gueye and Mitchell, Doucouré, Schlupp, Eze, Olise, Edouard and Ayew. Star man out of that lot, I'd have to go with Eze. No Premier League players had more successful take-ons than Crystal Palace duo Zaha and Eze with 32 each. Zaha's come from 97 attempts, 33%, whereas Eze's came from 64 attempts, 50% pass rate, 50% completion rate, which is bonkers for dribbles. He's a very, very skilled dribbler, very silky. Carries the ball really well, and is essential to getting Crystal Palace up the pitch. Capable of spectacular stuff as well. Hits the ball clean off both feet. United being at home, I expect them to hit the halfway line, push right up on Crystal Palace, and leave space in behind, which is where they can potentially hurt you. For Manchester United, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Varane and Martinez with Luke Shaw, David De Gea in net. Debut for Sabitzer alongside Casemiro. I think he will get flung straight into the mix. I think it will probably be Bruno, Antony, Marcus Rashford behind Weghorst. I'm not sure Martial is quite ready to be starting a game, but I would expect him to play 30 at least off the bench, and that could all change by the Leeds game. That's what the team is I'm going with, and I think the match winner in that, hopefully, is Sabitzer. Comes with a reputation of being mobile, energetic, will be needed against Crystal Palace, who definitely come and compete physically. Home crowd behind him, and he has the ability. He could have a stellar debut. I think he could really impress people. He's against a team that allow you to impress as well. That's another thing. He's got an added dimension from set plays. His passing ability will be important when it comes to switching a play, isolating the wingers against their fullbacks. He will be replacing Eriksen, who is United's lead assister. So we need him to provide some level of creativity because we're going to miss that in that area. And Palace don't know what to expect from him. They don't know what he's going to be about as a Manchester United player. So I think it's a good time for him to take advantage of that unknown factor and show us what he can really do. Get people scared, especially Newcastle, ahead of the final. So how do we beat them? First and foremost, you've got to be aware and careful of the counter. If Zaha plays, you've got to be wary of him. But Ayew, Mateta, Elise, Eze, all absolutely lethal on the counter. They have bags of pace and skill in the forward areas. 1v1 is not a fair fight, and I wouldn't want to be left 1v1 against any of the Crystal Palace forward line because they can go left or right of you, most of them, and going to hurt you getting behind you. You have to be carefully ambitious when you play them. You need to make sure you have cover. You need to match the physicality that they're going to bring defensively, and tackles need to be assured too. Defense is an important focus in this game. You can't lose challenges in the final third. It could be lethal for us. Number 2 would be to score early. And of course, you want to score early, Steve. Don't talk wet. But I think in this instance, you're not the kind of team that you give a chance to because they have got a bit of character about them. But I think if you score early, they know their place, if that makes sense. They are a team that loses often. Their heads can go down. You can keep a roll on with that. If you let them get their tails up, they can cause you problems. We saw that not long ago. And the fullbacks, they're a lot stronger in defence. I really like Mark Gay. I think he's an excellent player. Richards, another good player. They are physical and aggressive defensively, but sometimes that can work against them. They lose concentration. They can be found wanting a little bit positionally. And probably our strongest area is their weakest. So I would say get at the fullbacks, turn them around, stop them being able to play, and you're going to have a lot of success with them. But confident, man. I'm not going into games going, trip it up. Not at home. I believe in this United side to keep the momentum going, to play with a level of professionalism and get the 3 points come the final whistle. Let me know your thoughts, your expectations, how you think Sabitzer's going to get on, and who you think is going to win and score. I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.